Hello, it's Kirsten Liebelt. How are you doing? It's so good to see you guys. How was your weekend? My weekend was fabulous. Fabulous, darling. Because this weekend I had my two littles. So my grandsons, they are 3 and 1.5, and they came and they stayed at our place this weekend. And so I had such a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend? I hope you did. I just got the best testimony ever. And actually, I'm using my iPad, so I can't look it up. But basically, such a good testimony. I had just put up a reel that was talking about like protein myths or whatever. And one of them was there was one point in there talking about being too estrogenic. And she just left a comment saying that she so badly wished that women would know that you can be estrogen dominant. That's how her cancer was found. And my heart just gets so full when I hear people talk about how, through information that we have access to now, like we get to become our own advocates, right? And how beautiful is that? So anyway, tonight I wanted to talk about obesogens. Do you guys know what obesogens are? Let me know. I would love to know in the comments below if you've ever heard the term obesogen. Obesogens. I had did a post about it or whatever, and somebody's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Like they just didn't know. I didn't know either just a couple of years ago. So I didn't know either, but I would love to know if you've heard of obesogens. So remember, I always talk about insulin resistance a lot. And but all of these things started to happen to me a long time ago. So you can be insulin resistant for a very long time before it shows up in your blood glucose levels, right? So a long time ago, back in my 30s, I'm just taking care of my family. I'm going to see if I can do something here. Hold on. I'm just touching on my TikTok because I want to see. Add moderator. There we go. There you go, honey. You're my moderator. Perfect. Okay. So basically, back in my 30s. So I'm 20. First of all, I'm 22. So I'm 23 and 26 when I'm having my first two babies. And my first one, I'm gestational diabetic. The second one, I'm hypoglycemic. Then 4 years later, my dad dies. He's type 2 diabetic. That's really the base of a lot of my story, right? Well, then in my 30s, I'm just living life, man. I'm just like living life, and I'm not paying any attention to my sugars. I'm not paying any attention to I'm like super disconnected from my body. I'm all of the things, right? So having said that, I am using any and all products. So I titled this, not on TikTok, but I titled this, "Are the products you're using making you fat?" Well, again, like I don't know anything. I'm the poster child of I think ibuprofen is my best friend ever. I think that, sugar on a Sunday, well, all day, every day, especially in coffee creamer, but like you take a nap and you eat like a bag of, snack size Snicker bars, on a Sunday afternoon, like that's a good day. I mean, I'm so not a supplement taker. I'm raising my babies, and I am not a granola person. Whatever a granola person is, it's not me in my 30s. So I am just living the high life of overuser. Hi, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I'm a total overuser, especially when it came to laundry detergent and fabric softener, because my girlfriend and I was living on 20 acres on a hobby farm, raising my babies. We were homeschooling, and she was living on, I think she's on 10 acres, doing the same thing. And we would hang out our clothes. So how much detergent, this is me in my brain because whatever, how much detergent could I possibly use? How much of the D word could I possibly dump in there to make it smell super strong so that when you hang it out on the line, it just, smells so good, right? So that's my life. Well, the one thing that I noticed was then after time in my closet, things started to smell really rank. Okay, that's just one thing, but I'm still not putting it together when my body breaks out in eczema everywhere. So I have eczema like on my arms, and it's bad. It's really bad. And again, I'm super unaware. Years later, finally, I got it dealt with. I'm trying to remember how. I think I had a friend who had a steroidal cream and I used some steroid and that actually took care of it like right away. Okay. But I would always have bouts of eczema kind of show up like on my eyelids and stuff in college, etc. Years later, like a lot of years later, I start reading up on obesogens. It gets brought up maybe in a blog that I'm watching or reading or whatever. And I find out that, thank you for the follow, Misty. I so appreciate you. I find out that obesogens are actually, these are the toxic chemicals that are inside of the products that we are using. That's why we try to go to more clean products, right? That literally can cause weight gain. What? Okay, so I'm going to read you something here. Hold on. I want to read you something about obesogens. Let me see here. Hold on. This is super fascinating to me because, you know, the more you know people, right? So hold on. Not there, not there, right here. Okay, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the normal function of lipid metabolism, leading to weight gain and obesity. They can interfere with hormone signaling pathways. Now, remember, insulin resistance, we talk about it all the time, and insulin is a hormone. Oh, lost me. Am I back?
Yeah, I think you lost it.
Am I but am I back now? Okay. Maybe tell me on Facebook if you would, if you can hear me. I would really appreciate that. So basically, obesogens are disrupting your hormones. And we hear that all the time, right? We hear about all the time about hormone signaling pathways getting really, really like confused, right? So when I was in my 40s and my hormones went upside down, I thought to myself, well, I guess I didn't even think anything. I didn't think that insulin, I didn't know that insulin was a hormone. And so I didn't make the connection. So there's the one coin, and on one side of the coin, we talk about insulin as a hormone. And then on the other side, we talk about the rest of our hormones that go upside down that make us crazy, right? They make us crazy, like with brain fog and memory issues. And oh, thank you so much. Oh, good. Oh, interesting. On Instagram. That's super interesting. Thank you. I'm so glad I'm back. And so we have all the, we think it feels so vulnerable, right? As a female, it feels like, you're losing your mind or you can't multitask maybe and all of these different things. Well, what if there are pieces of your world where you actually you're on that hamster wheel and you're going backwards? I need to see. Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if I can do this again. Okay, I'm just going to keep on reading this and let's see if it goes. They alter the regulation of fat cell development and metabolism. Obesogens are found in various environmental pollutants, food additives, pesticides, and industrial chemicals. Some common obesogens include BPA. We all hear about that, right? Phthalates, organodins, perfluorinated, PFCs, chemicals. We know that certain pesticides, these substances can accumulate in the body over time and contribute to obesity and related metabolic disorders. But what I want to do here is I actually want to go over like some of the common products that we're using that are causing this, because I know for me, when I was overusing a lot of really scented laundry detergent and fabric softener, and like my body, I reached a level that was just too much for me. And so if you look up, if you just Google obesogen, you'll find out that this is like a real thing, that the chemicals in the products are interrupting our hormones and literally causing weight gain and obesity. And I understand there are more factors than that, right? We talk about that a lot with insulin resistance. We talk about that, especially when it comes to like insulin, when your insulin and or your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. That's really a true thing. So hold on just a second. All right. So basically, hey, Carrie,
Yep.
will you stay on Facebook and see if I go away?
What's that?
Will you stay on Facebook for a second?
Well, you're on TikTok, so hang on.
Okay. Because I want to read something. So basically, when it comes to the different products,
Yeah, you're good.
okay, good. So number one, microwaving food in plastic containers. Heating plastic containers can cause the release of obesogenic chemicals like BPA and phthalates in the food, especially when plastic is old, scratched, or not labeled as microwave safe. I'm telling you what, stop microwaving in plastic. I stopped that maybe only, has it been a couple years now? It actually hasn't been that long. And it took me a long time to really believe that because I just wasn't, I don't know. I've made little changes over the years. And so that's just one of them. But microwaving in plastic containers. Number two is eating canned foods frequently. So canned foods often have a lining that contains BPA or similar chemicals, which can leach into the food, particularly if they're acidic or fatty foods. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was super interesting. Using nonstick cookware at high temperatures, and there's a range of nonstick cookware, like for real. There is if I had an air fryer. Have you ever had like an air fryer basket and with the nonstick and it peels like a lot? That is not a good. You don't want anything that's peeling. You don't want, if you can scratch it and you can see the inside of it, that's telling you something about the not just the quality, but about what's leaching into your foods. And so you really, really, really don't want that. That is definitely a no-no. Number four would be using personal care products with phthalates and parabens. So I think a lot of people know about phthalates and parabens now. We're starting to hear that more and more, right? Like in our shampoos and in our body care, et cetera. In our skin care, we want to make sure that it's phthalate and paraben free. And then the last one is consuming conventionally grown produce. Certain pesticides and herbicides used in conventional agriculture contain obesogenic chemicals that can be ingested through fruits, vegetables, and grains. So we all know that. I mean, we're not confused by that, are we? Are we confused yet about, like, if you can't buy everything organic, which most of us, we're not buying everything organic, right? But we definitely want to make sure, like, what is it? The dirty dozen that they put out of the different vegetables and fruits that are the worst for the chemicals, because they are so, like, you can't rinse them off. You can't vinegar them off. You can't baking soda them off, like your greens, your lettuces, and your berries. They're just so fragile, and they just so soak up any of the chemicals that cause issues like that. It's just, oh, thank you for sharing. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. I appreciate that so much. And so I know that I've had to just make changes over time. And it's like, I always tell people, when we're talking about insulin resistance and we're talking about things that kind of keep us overweight, or that they block us from making better transitions into, like, changing your size, changing, the things that you're wanting to change. And with insulin resistance, you already have hormone dysregulation, right? You already have metabolic, dysfunction going on. And so just finding little tweaks and things that you can do that you can feel like you're in control of makes all the difference in the world. And I was just recently talking to somebody about how it's so true that we don't know enough about, in our world, we're not taught enough about how insulin is really a key to being able to finally lose weight. With myself, like, I know that when it comes to hormone disruption, when I started to figure out that if I could get my insulin to come down, if I could get my sugars to come down, that's how I was going to finally be able to lose weight, then that began my whole conversation in my head and in my studying when it comes to hormones in general and anything that is disrupting your hormones. Like, what was that? I'm trying to think of who I was talking, or who was just talking about It was Dr. Ken Berry. I love giving resources to you guys so that you can look things up for yourself. Dr. Ken Berry, he's on YouTube. He's on everywhere, but berry as in like the berry that you eat. And he was doing this YouTube video about the protein myths. And I like talking about that because, hey, Anna, good to see you. Happy Sunday. So good to see you. You said that like 7 minutes ago. Really nice to see you. And basically talking about how we have to stop having certain, thought processes, right, that are holding us back. And I talk a lot about eating protein to keep your sugars level and everything like that. But who knew that, certain things that, when they say eat a lot of soy and eat a lot of whatever, it's so estrogen. We're already so estrogen dominant in our society that we don't need any more hormone disruptors like the things that we're washing our clothes in and the lotions that we're putting on our bodies and the skincare that we're putting on our face, and even trying to find the anti-aging line that I use. I'm 59 now, but it's phthalate and paraben free. And that's really important. That's really, really important, right? Yeah. Dr. Ken Berry, thank you for saying that. That's very helpful. Yeah. So he just really honestly is, he's just one of the people that I really appreciate quite a bit. Let me see if I missed anything. I want to make sure. Because sometimes I'm not on my game and I miss it. So anyway, so I wanted to just come and bring that information to you, and as always, if you're ever needing, like if you want to be a part of like a Facebook group that can help you with insulin resistance, I do have that. That's on my website, or you can put Facebook group in the comments and I can get you that information. But also too, the testimony, I feel like I am vulnerable here because I don't have a device so that I can look things up for you. And that makes me like, I want to tell you the testimony that I got this week. And I don't like to give like partial information, but every single week, I get testimonies on what the trio is doing for different people. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. And I'll just tell you, I think that the ones that I love the best are the ones where people are monitoring their sugars and they're watching them come down, because that is where it really matters. And I know that there are a lot of, tips and tricks for insulin resistance. Well, you need to actually bring down your sugars and you need to bring down your insulin in order to be able to lose weight. Otherwise, you're stuck and you're on a hamster wheel, and that's super frustrating. And so, I hope some of those tips helped you when it comes to even just maybe changing out something in your world. Maybe you'll change out just one thing, maybe just a couple things, like stop microwaving in plastic, go out and buy some glass. You can go to the Goodwill and you can get super cheap, like glass dishes that you can be microwaving in. Not that microwaving is the best, but I haven't completely stopped microwaving either. I try to do as much as I can on my stove, but you know what I mean? It's like, we have to just take the steps that we can take when we can take them. That's just really the way that it is. So anyway, I don't know, but, Anna, hold on. I think I missed a question here somewhere. Hold on just a second. I got to see what my questions are. Oh, I can't. What does that say? I can put that up there, but I don't know what it says. Does anyone have any suggestions for a continuous glucose monitor that is good and doesn't require a prescription? Oh man. Okay. So does anyone have any suggestions for a continuous glucose monitor that is good and doesn't require a prescription? I love your name, by the way, daughter of the King of Kings. That is very nice. I personally do not. That's not true. I thought you could buy them without prescriptions, but I don't know that they're necessarily inexpensive. Does anybody have any recommendations on that? I would love to know. So I have personally never used one, but I think that as a tool, they could be very, very helpful for people, because obviously that's the way that you can see for yourself, and you can then wade through all of the marketing and wade through all of the opinions of people saying that this is, that this won't spike your sugars or this won't spike your sugar. And I'm just telling you, when you can get on a path where you are understanding what does spike your sugars and what doesn't, man, I'm telling you, there's so much freedom in it. There's so much freedom. It's not free. It costs money, but it's helpful. What was it? Hold on just a second. Was it just a continuous glucose monitor in general, lifestyle design nurse? I would love to know. That would be a really good thing to be able to help people with in general. If we could get that kind of information out, I feel like that would be great. Yeah, I would love to know that because, my dad, when I was gestational diabetic with my first baby, I pricked my finger 4 times a day. This is when I was about 22, 23, right? So I pricked my thing about 4 times a day, and my blood tested it. And my dad, he was insulin dependent type 2. So he did 2 injections a day, plus he would check his sugars, etc. And NutriSense, it's a company that has them. Okay, nutrisense.io. Yep. And I don't know how much that is or anything like that, but thank you for that information. And I feel like if we would have, when they introduced the food pyramid, however many decades ago now, had we been testing our blood sugars in concordance to the 9 to 11 servings of grain they were telling us to eat every single day, plus now all of the processed foods that's come out of that, we would be so much further ahead. You were texting this weekend. Oh, and you think that the CGM, yep. Kathy, nice to see you. And you think that the CGM might be a key to help you. You ordered the trio and you're looking forward to seeing how this can help. I'm very excited for that testimony. I'm very excited. I can't even tell you. I love getting those. You know what? I thank you so much for putting that link there, but I know that unless somebody like rewrites that, shoot, I can't like copy that or anything. Instagram's kind of a stinker like that. But I'm so excited for you because I'm telling you what, the testimonies that just keep on coming, especially from people that are type 2. Man, I love those testimonies. I'm the only one in my family that avoided type 2. And so for me, I feel like, I know exactly how I did it, and that's how I share. And she's talking about the trio, etc. Because I never took a supplement before. I had never done anything. That was not my MO at all. I was completely addicted to sugar when I started any of this. But I knew I had to do something. That life that was with my dad was very intense. It was very intense. He had a lot of heart procedures. He had a lot of emergency angiograms, and he had a pacemaker, and he did dialysis, and he did all of it. The last 2 years of his life, it was really truly made up of dialysis on Monday, and then you throw up, and then on Tuesday you feel good, and then Wednesday is dialysis, and then you throw up, and then it was terrible. It was really, really icky. And so I just know that as I've asked a lot of questions inside my head, and then I started to research, and then I really wanted to share kind of like what was, the supplements and how they were working for me and how they were helping with sugar addiction and, appetite control and stuff like that. I wanted to share things like that, but I was scared too for a very, very, very long time because I'm the one that avoided type 2. And then I thank you for the follow, Cows and Cotton. I love that name, Cows and Cotton Company. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Then I realized, oh, wait, that is my story, and if we don't talk, and my customer who had mentioned, she said, she wishes that women understood that what she knows from her conversation, her experience, is that estrogen dominance led to her, this is her story, led to her uterine cancer. And she wants everybody to know that if you are, if you feel like you are estrogen dominant, which this goes back to this conversation that we just had about obesogens, that it can make you estrogen dominant, that it can be a part of the issues with your hormone imbalance. She wants everybody to know. But, we get scared to tell our own stories sometimes because, just because there's just a heightened sense of offense or concern or whatever. And if anybody comes and tries to knock us off of our little stool of really believing the matrix, we feel like, Like, don't tell me the truth. Like the truth can be exhausting for our brains, or to rewire our brain to another train of thought can be hard on us. And so I feel like sometimes we don't know. And I feel like I know I'm totally missing conversation over there and I can't find it. Hello, good to see you. So I just know that we do need to make those, make better decisions in that way. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to chat about tonight, Sunday night's episode. So last week I did the challenge in the Facebook group, and that was really great. And if you need to get in there, you can always go to my website. It's my firstlastname.com, KirstenLiebelt.com. And there's a Facebook blue button, and you can get in there. It's for women, and you can get in there. And we did a challenge. I do a challenge every single month, and I want to be able to get you started, like up and running on the first week of a month, so that you can feel like you've got some tools in your toolbox, so you can learn a few things about maybe changing out ingredients. And you guys, I am Italian. I know all about how mentally challenging it can be to trade out your food ingredients. But let me tell you, so I posted this in my stories. You can look at it on my personal Facebook page and then on Instagram. I just posted it tonight. Did I? Shoot. Maybe I didn't yet. Never mind. Doesn't matter. She posted in the Facebook group. We talk about making the keto lasagna, and she's Italian too. And Maria Emmerich is the one that came forth and gave the idea, to my knowledge. She's the originator of it, using deli chicken breast for the lasagna noodles, because it's not the noodles that you're wanting to eat when you eat lasagna. And so I talked about it on probably a live video just like this. Well, she went ahead and she tried it, and she's like, you're so right. Like, that's not what you don't miss it. Like, it's amazing because you get all the other pieces. So those are the types of things, like, I want people to hear the sentence. This isn't as hard as you think it is. It's not overnight. I know that. A lot of it is mind work. I really, really know that. That's why I talk a lot about changing things out without shame. Okay. So I'm so empathetic towards that, because it took me a long time to change the tracks that were in my brain. The tracks that say, you're supposed to just, well, it's everything from when you're very little to, you have to eat everything on your plate, to, in Italian culture, it's almost rude not to eat, or you're almost just, you feel stupid because the food's so good. So you're like, well, duh, of course I'm going to eat all the food. It's so good. And so you have to get rid of the tracks. And so I get it. But when it comes out to changing out ingredients, I'm just telling you, literally, like, the best friend you ever had. When you start eating whole foods and real food, like I do grain-free, sugar-free, and that's what I teach, because you have to stop what got you into the pickle to begin with. You got to stop what got you into the pickle. Me too. And but when you realize that all of the lies come from marketing and telling you that prepackaged stuff is actually good, and you start eating real food, like let's say you whip up real whipped cream with vanilla. And yes, I do use like Swerve, or, some sort of like an allulose, stevia, something like that. That's a natural sweetener, not the artificial, right? But a natural sweetener like that. But you whip up whipped cream like that. And then you want to know the little trick that I do? This is going to sound weird. I do weird stuff. I do really weird stuff, but I'll buy unsweetened baking bars, and the ones that you can get at, oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. What was I going to say? I'll buy unsweetened baking bars, and they are the one that I love the best, you guys. It's Walmart brand. It's great value. But if you look on the back of it, it says chocolate liqueur. And you can tell it because it tastes really good. And so I'll shave like dark chocolate, not dark chocolate, unsweetened chocolate, and mix that in with the whipped cream, and you don't know that it's unsweetened. And so it's like you've totally gotten away with something, but it's really good chocolate. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, it's really, really good. The other weird thing that I do, I'll give you this tip too. Okay, this is weird. This is either for you or it's totally not for you. Okay. I will make scrambled eggs, and then I'll make them to be sweet. Now you have to track with me for just a second. The reason why is because when you take bread and you dip it in egg and then you fry it to make French toast, Oftentimes French toast will have vanilla in the eggs, or it will have sugar in the eggs, or both, right? And then you're frying your French toast, and then you're putting maple syrup on it. So you're having sweet eggs and bread, right? This is what we're doing, right? So instead, I'll just take scrambled eggs, like, 3 scrambled eggs, and then add some sweetener to it. You could add cinnamon. You could add, I like to add banana extract because I love banana. Like, if I could eat only banana Laffy Taffy for the rest of my life, that would be my candy of choice. I love banana Laffy Taffy a lot. So I put banana extract in there and then scramble them up. And then I can put brown sugar swerve on top. It's so good. It's kind of like you're eating French toast. And I know that sounds weird, but that's okay. Maple FLA print. Tell me what you're saying. Maple. I don't know. Been making hot golden milk, turmeric. And then what are you using for the liquid, Julie? I would love to know. I bet that tastes really good though. And maybe with some cinnamon too, huh? I wonder why I can't see all of my my comments there. Can't post comments to some destinations. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about that. Half and half. Oh, whoa. Yum. Oh my gosh, I bet that's super creamy. Cinnamon and ginger. Oh, and half and half. Ooh, yum. See, now if I get like if I get on a roll like that, I don't think I'm as close to my goal weight as you are to your goal weight, Julie. Yeah, that would keep me from losing more weight right now. Too much of that, but I love cream, so I could totally see myself enjoying that a lot. You've always got good ideas. Go make that coconut cream pie. Vanilla. You are speaking my language. You are. Anyway. Oh, Kathy, I'm just so glad that you jumped on, and I'm glad that I got to see your handle. I just appreciate that so much. If you're still on here, that's great. Yeah, you are. You are so funny. Anyway, well, I certainly hope that, maybe everybody just can make a different decision for this week. I don't know what you guys have going for this coming week. I know that everybody around me, we've got really busy weeks coming up. And so if you want to jump into the Facebook group, you can go to my website, KirstenLiebelt.com, and there's a Facebook blue button on there. If you have questions about, like Kathy was talking about, ordering the trio and stuff, if you have questions about supplementation that can be really targeted for sugars and insulin and help in that arena so that you can finally lose weight, or just because you need to feel better. I mean, a lot of the conversations I was having today were with people that they're just tired of not making feel good. They're tired of not feeling good at all. Like, whether it's because of side effects or whether it's just because their bodies are so not regulated right now, always reach out to me. You can message me on any of the platforms. And on some of the platforms, there's a phone number there that you could text me at. And that's what Kathy did. She just texted me, and we chatted this weekend about what she needed to maybe grab. And so, get what you need. Don't get what you don't need. Don't be doing any of that. I don't want people's supplement cupboards to look like your makeup drawers. That is not my goal at all, ever. But I'm a super functional person. Like, if there was a functional love language, that's my love language. Like, I like to multitask. I like things to be very functional for me. I was the wife that never understood when they said, oh, it's just not right if your husband buys you something that plugs in. Like, he should be buying you whatever, whatever the idea of the day is on the morning TV show, like silliness. I'm like, I want something that plugs in because I wanted function. I always told him, don't buy me flowers. Like, it's not that I don't like flowers, but to be really honest, I always, from the very, very beginning, like I didn't just wake up and be this way. Like, in the last 10 years that I've been taking care of my health and taking supplements and stuff, I've always been this way. Like, buy me the KitchenAid. buy me the functioning thing. So I'm a very functional person. So I feel like that has really led me into my place, my very like authentic place of I never took supplements because I didn't see the value in them, but I also didn't want to just take a bunch of stuff just to take stuff. So it wasn't until I started to take very targeted supplements. I took one piece I took for my brain fog because I couldn't multitask. And that was in my 40s, right? I'm in my 40s. I can't multitask. I have a lot of brain fog going on. It's hormonal. I don't understand that it's hormonal. I'm very disconnected from my body, but I start to do that because I needed to have a mind brightener. That was me. I needed to do my job is really what it was, my job. So I started doing that. And that's the purple packet. That's under the menopause gut health button for anybody that wants to know about that. But then secondarily, I was taking for my sugars because my mom wouldn't leave me alone about my sugars because my dad had died of type 2 diabetes at 63. And he died with a lazy Susan full of meds. And that very much confused me. Not going to lie. It very much confused me. And that's that